What is up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos, and today we are back in the battle chamber. Shout out to Gamer's Edge. This is taking place during a special edition of our locals. Normally we play on Saturdays, but the group of players that we have decided to try Friday so we can get, Nate involved. As you can see, Nate is on our left playing the Agents of Destruction deck, and then we have Dylan on our right playing a very spicy Cheelai and Lemo Wish deck. So I just want to shout out the player base that we have at Stroudsburg, PA. We communicated at the beginning of the week to get everything taken care of and get everybody there on a Friday, and it worked out really well. We had 13 players. For a locals, not bad. So shout out to you guys if you're watching. Really appreciate the communication and the organization. So let's catch up. We got Nate on the left playing AoD. Standard turn one play, tap for Bobbity. Discard to search, pass to Dylan. Dylan's going to do his Cheelai Lemo, charge, look for a ball in life, doesn't hit one. He's going to grab one out of the deck. Now the Cheelai Lemo deck is a little slower from the older Wish leaders that grab 2 Dragon Balls. So obviously you have to facilitate some type of turbo, get your balls into the grave or get your balls into drop area strategy. So you do have the AoD promo that was released a while back. It also did get reprinted in the anniversary box, so you have that. But Dylan does open 2 Dragon Balls, so you play them, draw 2, or draw 1 for each rather. He's going to tap 1 to play a Dragon Radar, which allows you to look at top 7 and add either a Desire or a Dragon Ball to your hand. So let's see. Oh wow, he actually whiffs. That's pretty bad. So he's going to whiff on that Dragon Radar, which is unfortunate because it essentially shuts him down for his turn 1 play. There's not really much you can do after that. You definitely want to try to turbo it everything out. Wish leaders do have the tendency of getting very large hands because they draw a lot of cards. But they aren't the most aggressive leaders. They do have later game strategies for the most part. You want to build up your resources and then just get your strategy going later. So they're definitely more of a mid-range play style. So Dylan is going to go ahead and pass back to Nate. Nate's going to charge a Whis Coercion. He's going to swing with his leader, activate skill, take a life. Look at top, what is that, 7 cards, and add 1 to hand, I believe. I'm very new to this new Agent of Destruction strategy. I was definitely around back in the day for Wish Dende AoD, which was, a problem in itself to deal with. So I'm interested to see how this new Bobbity / Majin Buu Agent of Destruction leader plays. So very interested to see how everything goes. He's going to go ahead and shuffle everything back. Looks like he's passing here. No, I'm sorry. He's swinging. Dylan is comboing with the AoD, which I mentioned before, to get the 2 balls in the drop area. Very effective strategy because not only do you save yourself from an attack, but then you can combo. AoD does pop a 1-drop or less, I believe, as well. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the Bobbity has barrier, so that's not going to be relevant in this case. But he is going to be putting 3 of his Dragon Balls from his deck into his drop. So he's got a total of 5 Dragon Balls in his drop area now, which is really good. Hopefully he can grab the remaining 2 on his next turn and be able to awaken, which is really essential. So he's still sitting at 8 life, definitely comboed out of the attack. Nate's going to pass. Dylan's going to draw, untap, charge. That's a Cheelai Lemo 2-drop from the anniversary box. He's going to go ahead and activate his leader skill to get Dragon Ball from deck to hand and shuffle it up. Let's see how good the RNG is for Dylan on his side here. Is he going to be able to get his 7th Dragon Ball into the drop area to flip his leader over to the backside? So much for, for playing an older strategy. I actually had the opportunity of playing Dylan in this local myself, and I saw exactly what his deck wanted to do. And I have to give him props, man. I mean, for playing an older deck, an older leader, he definitely, big brained it, and he put together a very solid build, in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything goes off here for you viewers. He's going to go ahead and activate another Dragon's Radar. He's just going to play it safe and draw 2 off the 2 balls from the drop. So he still has 5 Dragon Balls in the drop area. He did search, so he had gotten his 6th Dragon Ball this turn. Was he able to get his 7th, though? Because turn 2 awaken for a Wish leader is phenomenal. Doesn't look like he's got that 7th ball. So we're going to play for another turn here. Nate's going to draw. See if he charges what color. I don't think actually it matters what colors you charge. I think the Bobbity leader makes the color restrictions fall off of their agents. So it's kind of like the Universe Warrior of Universe 7 trait. So I don't think it exactly matters what color you're charging in this deck. So that's actually really good because you'll be able to play your strategies and not have to worry about color correction in your energy pool. So he's going to go ahead and swing with his leader. Dylan's going to take. He's going to scry and search, add 1 to hand. Dylan's going to take, go down to 7, which is still a healthy life total for a Wish leader. You know, he's probably going to awaken next turn, or he's definitely going to awaken next turn, most likely by searching a ball. Nate's going to tap 1 and play this Turles. Turles is going to turn sideways and swing. Auto. Top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like. Add an agent to hand. He's going to add the 13. The 13 is really good in my opinion. That's probably one of the better ones in my opinion because it has the I believe it's a counterplay skill and then you neg 1 from your opponent's hand. So that's just pretty crucial there. Dylan is going to take that life. Nate's going to pass after that swing. Dylan's going to go ahead and charge Tragic Awakening. I do apologize for the glare, but that is a Tragic Awakening in charge, giving him a total of 3 energy. He's going to get his last ball from his deck to his hand off of his leader skill. He's going to go ahead and play that ball, draw a card, flip over. He's got 7 in his drop. And then on the back side, Cheelai is activate main. Once per turn, you can draw a card, or you can play a free wish equal to the amount of energy that you currently have. And I believe the ultimate skill for Cheelai, which is probably not going to come up, I think she can remove the 7 Dragon Balls from the drop area, and then she goes ahead and gets a Broly BR that's 4 or less out of the deck or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Or I believe she searches them to hand. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think that's going to come up in this game so much, and it definitely didn't come up when I played the leader back in the day, so I think it's irrelevant at this point. But he's going to go ahead and tap 1 and play this Cheelai, which is going to allow him to draw a card. Basically, it's another cantrip the deck plays. Activate main, leader draw. So you can see how much advantage these Wish leaders do build up. For those of you who didn't play in the Wish format and you're new to the game, or you're just recently coming back into the game and you didn't play a Wish strategy, they do build very large hand sizes very quickly. So Dylan's going to attempt to play the Paragus to Sacrifice, and that's when Nate's going to go ahead and counterplay with the Android 13, which is going to not only counterplay that card, but he's going to rip one out of his hand. So it's really good because it not only controls the board, but it controls the opponent's hand. Now, you know, hand size or hand destruction against a Wish leader, it can be 50-50 depending on how effectively or how often they're drawing. So it's gonna be interesting to see if those discarding effects that Nate has from his agents is really gonna affect Dylan in the long run. Dylan's gonna go ahead and swing at Turles, 15 to I believe 10. I think Turles is a 10, is a 10k. So let's see if Nate decides to combo out of this. Nope, it's just gonna lose him, go to drop, which I think is fine. I mean, you know, at this point, it is still kind of early in the game. I think Nate's gonna most likely awaken on this turn. So they're going to be more even than not. I mean, obviously, Dylan has a higher life total than Nate, but that can change very quickly with the amount of pressure that the agents can put on just by swarming the board for such low costs. That's always been like a crux for the deck. Especially with Wish strategies, you're not really putting a lot on the board that can't be dealt with, because there's 2 schools of philosophy, right? There's being able to play battle cards onto the board, but then there's also the other side of it where there's putting battle cards on the board that are hard to deal with. When you're playing a Wish leader, you're really just drawing a lot to get to your later pieces. Like I said, it's more of a mid to late game strategy, and then you're playing like small little cantrips early. So Dylan being able to facilitate his draws consistently is going to help his strategy, but then Nate's strategy is going to be just putting as much pressure on board as possible, and that can get overwhelming. So we're going to catch up here. Nate has awakened this turn. He's got all of his energy untapped, so he's got 4 active energy. He's got Bobbity, Lord Slug, and Android 13 on board. And the good thing about the Bobbity is it reduces the cost, so you're going to be playing all of your agents for 1. He's going to go ahead and free play the Broly, which is going to pop the Cheelai. He's going to go ahead and look at top 3, adding a card, putting the rest in the drop area. So you can see how these agents can get out of control very quickly if you don't have answers to them. Obviously, Dormant Potential Unleashed for green is like a very key card in this matchup. I'm not sure if Dylan plays them, unfortunately, or maybe he just didn't see them. But in a situation like this, it's not only going to blow up your opponent's board, or you're going to at least get rid of 2 of their cards, it's going to stop them from attacking. And you can see Dylan going ahead, you can see Nate go ahead and tapping 3 for that Unison. That Majin Vegeta Unison is very, very good. It's not played as much as like Demigra or like the new Dark Broly Unison are going to probably see play, but it is a very, very good card. It's a very aggressive Unison, and it does have very, very strong skills. So you can see Nate's going to go ahead and swing with that Majin Vegeta Unison, and Dylan's going to go ahead and play the Shocking Death Ball, getting rid of the Lord Slug, because it's probably the biggest threat at this point. So with that being said, Nate's going to go ahead and pass that turn. Dylan's going to draw. He's going to charge his 4th energy this turn, and then hopefully we get to see, you can see there he's got the new, I think that's the 6-drop or the 8-drop SR Red Broly from set 11. So you can see he's got 4 energy here. He's playing a red-green strategy for the most part, but honestly the colors are most likely irrelevant at this point. So Kind Wish is one of the older cards that we got for the Cheelai Lemo deck. Basically, what it does, it wipes both players' boards, ignoring barrier, and then you get to play a Broly BR that's cost 4, I believe, 4 or less from your deck, and you can play it. So Nate's going to go ahead and lose all of his battle cards. Obviously, it doesn't affect Unisons because Unisons are not battle cards. And it puts them at the bottom of the deck instead of, in the drop area. And then Dylan's going to go ahead and play his 4-drop Broly from set 6. This is one of the older Brolys from the older Broly chain that you got in the starter deck. It's Activate, Battle. You can discard a card to pop a card that's 3 or less. So it's pretty effective. But that's a very effective form of removal. Mass removal like that, essentially for free, because he used his leader skill to be able to play the Desire for free. So it's very effective in this strategy, which is going to hopefully give Dylan the opportunity to go ahead and start climbing back up. So Nate's going to go ahead and Whis Coercion that attack. Dylan's going to turn sideways with his leader. Let's see if there's any combos. He's going to go ahead and combo 6-drop Broly going to 5k just to get a marker off of that Majin Vegeta. You don't want him to get to his ultimate skill because he can clear boards pretty effectively if he has the right amount of markers. So because Dylan activated his leader skill to free play the Desire, he cannot draw a card, but he still has 4 energy open. So it's going to be interesting to see if he decides to utilize that energy to continue building up his board state. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the chain, if he goes up the chain effectively, or if it's just in there as a support. So it's going to be interesting to see if Nate targets the leader for damage, or if he tries to remove his board and allow Dylan to go up to the 6-drop. So I think they're just kind of deciding here exactly what the next play is going to be. There's a lot of checking of the drop areas. I mean, this is the final round of our tournament. At this point, both of these players were undefeated. They're both 3-0, and we played 4 rounds of Swiss. So this is, your first place matchup here, just depending on how much prizing you get. So, it's one of the more sensitive types of games you're going to play. And it was, obviously 2 of the better players that we have playing very efficiently, making sure their plays were tight, because this is for all the marbles at this point. And I sadly went 2-2 at this event with skillless Gohan. I had a lot of fun playing the deck. I definitely see the tweaks that I need to make, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to pilot it to a more effective finish. Dylan's going to go ahead and tap 3 for Oob, which is interesting. I've never really seen this card used offensively. I've only really seen it used for the combo effect to pop a 1-drop and then put the 3 balls in the drop area. So Nate's going to respond by tapping for the Android 13, which is going to pop the Oob and then force Dylan to discard a card from his hand. And then Nate's going to go ahead and go into his drop area to add, I think, an agent or two back to his hand. Or does he add them to deck? Yeah, so he's going to add them to deck and shuffle everything back up, which is great because if you're going to be recycling your resources from your drop area back into your deck, and your leader has the ability to look at top X cards and add an agent, you're just going to keep re-facilitating your strategy. Decks that recycle and they lean more to toolboxy type strategies are very, very efficient in resource-based games because you have the energy situation. There's certain cards you need to charge. And being able to get extra copies of certain cards allows you to charge one and then have one for later play. So any type of toolboxy strategy like that is always going to be really effective, especially when it's archetype specific. So Dylan's going to go ahead and pass over to Nate. He's going to untap. Let's see here. 4 energy. Do you go higher than 4 energy in this deck? I'm not exactly sure. He doesn't have the Bobbity out anymore, so his guys aren't cheaper. He's going to go ahead and charge a Whisk Coercion, giving him 5 total energy. That Bobbity is really crucial because it does make them cost a lot less. He's going to go ahead and uptick his Majin Vegeta Unison. He's going to go ahead and swing at Cheelai Lemo. Let's see if Dylan decides to counter. He's going to go ahead and he's going to actually take the double strike crit because he wasn't at 4 life to activate his Paragus super combo. So he's going to go ahead and go down to 3, which is actually that's huge, you know, because it's damage that you really don't want to take critical damage. You especially don't want to take double strike critical damage. So Nate's going to go ahead and swing with Android 13 into his Broly. Broly's going to die, and there's no combos, there's no saving, there's no activate battle skill or anything like that. He's going to activate his leader skill to play an agent from his hand. And the Android 13 agent, the older one, this is the special rare that we got in set, I want to say set 6 or set 7. I'm not exactly sure what set came out in. But I believe he's a critical 20k. So that's going to obviously put a lot of pressure on the board also. It's nice to see, you know, agents being an older archetype, and older by my standards is like set 6 and set 7, you know, but it getting further support in the anniversary box. It's always been a very interesting archetype to me, and the fact that now it has an archetype specific leader is, I think, super cool, because for the most part that strategy was played with the Dende Wish leader, which technically speaking wasn't exactly built for that strategy, but it was effective. So I'm glad to see that they got some archetype specific support, because I like not so much theme decks, but I like when decks are cohesive and they have their specific strategies that you have to play to make them, you know, shine or stand out. So with that being said, it's now Dylan's turn. He's going to try to resolve this Bulma. Nate's going to go ahead and respond with another Android 13. This card is just bananas, man. Counterplay, pop a card, and discard a card. That's just huge. He still has 5 energy open though. He's going to go ahead and activate leader skill to draw. He's going to play a 1-drop Cheelai. Response, yep, and another Android 13. Oof, man, I would hate to be playing against this. I hate hand destruction. Any type of hand destruction, it just hurts so bad. That sucks. Anyway, so what is Dylan going to do now? Let's see. Looks like he's going to swing with his leader. Who do you target? Do you go after... Yeah, you go after the rest at 13, so you don't have to combo up or commit anything to the board. It's definitely not a loss for Nate at this point. He's got enough bodies on board for his go wide. And losing that 13 and dumping cards to save it is probably not the most effective way of comboing out. But Dylan's got a huge decision to make. I mean, he's got 3 energy up. He can go ahead and, yep, Tragic Awakening, which is probably one of the best plays you can make in the deck. He does have to kill an energy to do this. But essentially what he could do is he can grab a Broly and free play it with Tragic Awakening. So it doesn't look like Nate has a response to that. So by killing his energy, which was the 6-drop Red Broly, or the 8-drop Red Broly, he goes ahead and plays it from the drop area. Now, obviously you're not going to get the full spectrum of these Brolys because your leader is not red, but he is a 35k double strike crit swing, which is nothing to laugh at. So he's going to go ahead and go into the Unison for a 30k double strike crit just to get those markers off, because like I said, you don't want that Vegeta being able to neg, I think it's neg 5, to be able to blow up your board. And with that, he's going to reveal the secret rare, which is the new one that we got from set 11. So 40k double strike barrier. Basically, if you bounce a red Saiyan that's 30k power or higher, you can play him without paying his energy cost. So you send him to the drop area, play this guy. And the Broly is really good because his permanent skill is, I think, what puts it over the top for me, you know, specifically. All of your opponent's battle cards, leader cards, and combo cards, 5k less. So anything that's a 15k battle card is now sitting at 10. Any leader is going to go down to 10. And any 5k combo is essentially going to be 0. And that's a permanent. So there's no like once per turn. Like, it's essentially 0. So that's a pretty huge card to be sitting on there. So all of these guys here are 10ks. So it's going to be interesting to see what Nate decides to do. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's going to go ahead and get back the Majin Vegeta Unison from the drop. He's going to tap 4 for it. He's going to, yeah, I mean, that's, as you can see, yeah, that's rather a quick and abrupt ending. But as you can see, there's nothing Dylan can do coming back from that. That's why you got to be careful with that Majin Vegeta ultimate skill, you know, just blowing up the entire board. But as we say, that is how the cookie crumbles. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Shout out to Gamer's Edge for putting on an awesome local. Shout out to Nate for his win. We'll see you guys next time. Be there or be squared.